Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, eminent dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, dear students. Um, the biggest problem is when you are the last speaker of the last session, then you are virtually standing between everything under the sky and the speaker. Um, I think it's very difficult to keep students quiet, but only if you do something which interests them, then only they would keep quiet. So I will keep my session a little bit deviate from the laid down format in which I had prepared my so-called speech. But I'd like to start with a small story, and I think many of you all students would experience this story as you go ahead in life while you interact with corporates. I was taking one of the interviews some few months back, and at the end of the interview, it was for a very junior level position. Okay, it was a sort of a startup position for a person who's first entering the corporate domain. At the end of the session, the candidate asked me, "Sir, can I ask you one question?" I said, "Of course, I don't have any further questions to ask you, but is the question relevant to the job?" He said, no, it's not about this. There's something very, there's something very problematic situation I'm facing. It's a very problematic situation. I said, "What is that?"
Furniture maker.
So the student said that, throughout my 12 years in education in school, I studied so many subjects, history, civics, geography. Not a single interview have appeared where anybody asks me anything about the Mughal emperor or about the preamble or the, fundamental rights. Why did I study those subjects? It was difficult because I didn't have the answer. And I possibly feel that these are questions which we need to ask ourselves before we leave this particular 3 days symposium. It's important to understand that with a country of 1.21 billion people, 70% staying in rural areas, 75% of tele-density means 75% of population has access to a telephone, 64% penetration of television in households, 75% in terms of telephone, and 64% in terms of television. It's very unique. 28 states, 7 union territories, and still we complain that it's just not happening. Now there's a basic difference, and the difference one has to understand is between academic qualifications and education. I think this is something all of us needs to understand and integrate very well. Academic qualifications on paper has no correlation or any form of correlation to education as such. Frankly enough, it's like the first slide which you see on a movie hall when you go, that the characters are purely fictitious and anything which you see has no resemblance to anybody living or dead. So that particular piece of paper, and this is specifically why I said that I'm going to a little bit twist and tweak it towards the students, that particular piece of paper on which your qualifications are mentioned are your passport to enter that particular door and sit in front of a prospective employer, alternately to look at an entrepreneurship venture. These are the two available options of livelihood in the world today. Either you work for somebody and make money, or you work for yourself and make money, right? Now, if this is what is the entire paradigm all about, then how do we look at education as a whole? I would like to a little bit dwell on this because representing STAR, just to give you a brief, a sort of a curtain raiser to what STAR is doing, is we are in a situation where I can't discuss much, but we are a small leadership team of about 5 or 6 people in the corporate who are looking at education overall and seeing how can education be facilitated through television as a medium. And that's what the venture is all about. Now, if you look at overall the fact that the way learning happens or curriculum or content has been designed, there are 4 critical factors in that. The first part is academicians, educationists decide what to teach. The moment it comes to institutions, the institutions start deciding on how to impart that particular teaching. Okay, then everything is complete. You get a certificate and you go out, and the corporates say, okay, whether this teaching is relevant to me or not. I don't think we ever ask that poor guy that whether actually he's learning or not. So how many times has ever a curriculum or content has been designed where the final draft of that curriculum is been vetted by the students who says, okay, so Mr. Academician, you say this is what needs to be taught. You, Mr. Institution, says this is how it needs to be taught. You, Mr. Company, saying, if I know this, then I will get a job. But मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा आप लोग क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं. I don't understand what you're trying to teach me. We need to relook at the entire mechanism of how teaching, learning happens. And that's possibly the disadvantage one has when you come at the end to speak, and the advantage that everybody will pay very minute attention to what you're saying, because the moment I say thank you, it's time to run for lunch. Right? Now, when this entire thing has been happening, and when you look at things in totality, then for all the hundreds of students who are standing here, inconsequential as far as us in formal wear occupying the first 4-5 rows are concerned, because they are students. These students tomorrow, if we continue to remain as students, then it is going to be a physical composition of flesh, blood and bones. How do you transform a flesh, blood and bone structure called a human being into a brand? How does Debashish Biswas standing here without the banner of ASSOCHAM, without having working with Star Television, can go out and still create difference to the world? That is something which you have to understand, that we all need to understand. Creating a brand out of ourselves is not a very difficult task. Each one of us are good in a couple of things. I may be good in singing, you might be good in acting, somebody would be good in painting, somebody would be good in possibly debate. That's fine. Utilize it and understand it, how you can effectively plug that into your learning process, thus making you different from the rest. And when you look at the learning in our country, a huge amount of learning comes from the film fraternity. It's not because I come from Star I'm saying this, but the learning which comes from television and films is immense, because it has a huge impact on our lives, right? So when I say you have to do something different, it sounds okay. You have to pardon me for all those who don't understand Hindi, but the moment you say you have to be a little bit hatke, to maza aa gaya. Now the fact is, how can 100 people be hatke? How can 3,000, 3 million people, 30 million people be hatke? It's difficult, right? But it is possible, because if you are not hatke from the rest, then we don't have a place in this competitive world. We can have technology take us as much as possible. I talked about the biggies in terms of tele-density and television viewership, but at the same time, 50% of rural India doesn't have electricity. What do I do with that television set? It doesn't work. Internet penetration is below 10%. How do I reach out to 90% of the population, because there is no electricity there is no computers, hardware has been provided by big corporations in the name of CSR, but it doesn't work. There's nothing to switch on, you wait, because if you get 2 hours of electricity in a day, what you will do first? You will first fill up your water tank. The next you will do is possibly charge your mobile phone, because that's the only mode of communication to the rest of the world. Rest comes later.